anything that comes from the government is given to the policeman as a punching bag. Wengine wanaenda Japan or China na kuja hapa anasema kuanzia leo askari ataa uniform ya blue. The constitution says, that's why we want to abolish it, that to constitute me, to make me, please ask me to have popular participation in what you want to transact me. Police officers are never asked, they are given orders. You find that a graduate police officer today, when he joins police service, the police service earns a constable. He earns the salary of a constable. A graduate police officer who joins the police as an inspector of police earns the graduate's salary. But these people all help loans and interest. Now you tell me, somebody is being given peanuts, and also the moral solidarity is not there. There is morality, there is solidarity with morality, because if the two classmates who have joined the police, one as a constable and one as an inspector, earning different salaries, don't you think you're going to shit? Don't you think that we should be proud of men and women and empower them to do the right work, empower them so that they don't become corrupt, empower them so that they don't become pens of corruption? Don't you think that the police officers should be recognized through empowerment so that they're given the right dues? Instead of being given 15,000 shillings to rent a house in Nairobi, no vehicle. Police officers are on top of my agenda. We shall make the best police force in the country, with one exception, that they will not be arresting Kenyans, because there will be no need of arresting them. We shall have enough money to take care of everybody. So, we shall have a 24-hour working economy. I don't know that there was number 6. Did you have number 6? Now, number 7. Yeah, number 7, please. These are the commandments of German. These are the commandments of our manifesto. We will suspend the constitution. I've spoken about that. I will ask Kenyans, through the preamble of We the People, which supersedes the entire constitution. I'm a lawyer, for God's sake. A lot of lawyers here are very ignorant. They always say the Constitution says, but they have no idea of what they are saying apart from simplicity in law school. Naenda unasoma kadigri kamoja, unakuwa lawyer, unajifanya wengi. Na sisi tumesoma mpaka tumechambua kila kitu. Let them know that the word of the Constitution is in the preamble. Those first words that start, that is supplementary. The preamble says We the People. That's where we stop. So long as you give me the mandate to be the president, I'll go back to the preamble and say, I've been given the rights of We the People. And therefore I'll have a right to suspend the Constitution. Put it on hold and ask Kenyans, translate it in all tribes, all languages, and ask Kenyans, what is it that you want? In judiciary, how comes that cases take longer in Kenya than any other place? How comes that corrupt people are in jail for 7 years, they appeal, and when they come out of the appeal, they go to seek for electoral seats? Come on, you know what we are talking to. How comes that case of Chicken Gate versus IBC, which was 10 years ago, is still ripe in Kenya, and those who committed the same fallacious felony in Britain have been tried, those found guilty were jailed, and they're out of jail 4 years. Hapa, Akina Oswago are still walking freely, whether he's innocent or not. Let me tell you, the judiciary, wherever you are, the Chief Justice, wherever you are, I'm telling you, as a brother, I am telling you, judges, you will have to account for all your wealth, because once you suspend the Constitution, it will not be bread as over. We shall ask Kenyans to review the Constitution and find out whether they want domestic trials by jury, traditional trials by the elders, or dispute alternative mechanism from the bottom, from down there. Mtoto akipigana na mwenzake, and their brothers, they come from the same clan, or they are Kenyans. Let the parents intervene. Ask both parents, what do we do with these children? Rather than kuchukua mtoto ambaye is not even 18 years old or is not ripe enough to know what he's doing, unatupa kwa police station. Unampeleka huko mtoto ambaye alikuwa anasoma, anakutana na watu wengine huko ambao wanamfanyia maovu, unampeleka kotini, unampeleka nyumbani. That kind of judicial system we want. All the judges and magistrates who have been taking cases from here to there, and I'll find out If a case has been pending for 5 years, I'll look at all those magistrates and judges and we shall ask them, how comes hii kesi imechukua miaka mingi? What interest did you get in it? Tutawanyonga hao. Nyonga hao. Nyonga hao. I'm the first person to say this, and I don't fear them because I have a job vile ninaenda. Hapo ndala vile mimi you know, I'm angry, but I'm a president. I can't show my anger. But how what? Number 8, Nairobi is overpopulated, right or wrong? Tanzanians wameenda na Dodoma as a capital city, administrative city, because of congestion in land. Nigeria put up Abuja as their capital. In Kenya, I would suggest that you create a new capital in Isiolo, because Isiolo has got so much land that if we start building, we cannot even finish. We shall take our administrative capital in Isiolo. We shall improve the lives of the people of Isiolo and Northeastern and Eastern by taking our infrastructures and asking companies that want to build up or to move to Isiolo to give them tax rebates, to encourage them to be like Delaware, so that those who are willing to go and build Isiolo, we exempt them from tax for the first 5 years to attract investment. Dubai was built on the sand, but here everybody here wants to stay in Nairobi. We now have gigas in Nairobi. Nairobi River has been polluted. The soil is compressed. The sewage system is compressed. You find these rich men going to acquire government land and building houses on them. Hizo zote kabla tutawanyonga, tutang'oa zote ziende chini. Ng'oa yote vitu ya wizi. Ng'oa yote. Na wale ambao wanarukaruka hapa wanasema ati waje niwaambie kitu. Unajua Kenya sometimes we are Philosophians. Let me speak like a Luo who never went to university. And Philosophians, but the tribe aspect is not here. Though I speak the language, but I'm a Kenyan. This issue of branding people, these people selling people that are in projects, imetoka kwa wale ambao mnajua. Sisi as Roots Party, we are very neutral. Hatuna matusi. We are Rastaman. Rastaman never accuses anybody. Hawa sasa wameanza kunichukua na Justina. Huyu yuko Azimio. Huyu washindwe. Washindwe kabisa. We are on the ballot. That's what I'm trying to say. Isiolo people, wherever you are, mahali mupo, Isiolo mupo, tunakuja huko kujenga new capital city na niruhusu nikiwa rais wenu hata State House itaenda Isiolo. Parliament will be shifted to Isiolo. State House will be shifted to Isiolo. Administrative buildings zitaenda Isiolo. Hapa will remain as an industrial city. Tuambia ati ya Kiambu ya kwamba you have fed Nairobi, you can as well now do your thing and feed Isiolo. Kweli Romo. Asante. Now, this is where some people go crazy. Everyone wants an identity. If you go to Nigeria, for example, and you go to Ondo State, the number plate ya magari Ondo State ni Ondo 1, Ondo 2. Ukienda Lagos, utaona magari imeandikwa Lagos State, the pride of the state. But in Kenya, we're going to introduce 8 regions for administrative purposes. And we shall have chief ministers in each region. Counties will remain within regions. The federal government will operate from Isiolo, whereby each state will have its own parliament and each state will have its own counties. We shall no longer have for 7 governors. We shall have county officers, and whatever state wants to name them or to conjugate them into what ability will be there. So that tukiwa na Rift Valley, for example, Nakuru will be the capital city of Rift Valley. And then if a county like Narok produces unga and ngano, wheat, tourism, hides and skins, the revenue is collected in Narok will be debated in the capital city of Nakuru, whereby it's up to the Nakuru city, the Nakuru parliament to decide. When it comes to appropriation of funds and taxation, what I'm saying, which county has got more revenue? Let us apportion this kind 70% or 60% to this county. Then 10% can go to federal government to help us in administrative issues, rather than this current system which we have, where all monies are collected by the government, and by the time they go to government as well, become thieves. In fact, I'm going to prosecute the entire, almost all of them. I'm going to ask them why Azimio tunajua wameiba, wengine wameenda Azimio, wengine wameenda Kenya Kwanza kusimama kama MP ndio wapate nini, wamepeana hao watu pesa ndio wafunike ile uchafu yao. Mnaelewa ama mwelewi? Alafu ndio sasa wasimame ile pesa ambayo wameiba ipotelee huko. Hapana. Serikali ya Justina na Wajakoyah tutakunyonga tu. From 9 wale magana ambao wamemaliza 2 terms, you have nowhere to go. You can run, and you can run, but you shall hold you accountable for all the monies. That's why we are proposing 8 regional assemblies, so that people can be accounted to those assemblies. So that when we come now to instrumentalities of commerce, let me speak now like an educated man. When it comes to instruments of commerce, instrumentalities, something owned by the federal government, something owned and paid for by the federal taxes. For example, a highway that is coming from Mombasa, passing through various counties, will be the responsibility of the federal government to maintain. Now, where there's a federal instrument, like a telephone communication wire, which passes from one state to another state, the taxes that are levied on that will be proportionate to what the government has gotten from the state government, whereby we may have 2 sets of taxation. The federal taxation, when you pass through the instrumentalities, of course, you want to drive your goods from Mombasa to Naivasha, you pass through other counties, then you have to be levied tax to maintain the federal roads that you're driving on, right or wrong. And on top of that also, what I want to say is that there are so many people who have lost their revenue as a result of that Kachuma railway. There are men and women who get infrastructural services, such as transporting functionaries, where we have people with lorries who are transporting goods from the port of Mombasa to the interior of Africa. People were employed, almost a workforce of 500,000 boys and loaders, whose monopoly was taken away from them and given to SGR. And those people have been made bankrupt. Those people who are employed by them have been made redundant. My government is going to pay all of them. As we take this railway, before I go to that point to finish, as we remove that Kachuma, we shall have a new modern technology designed by Kenyan engineers in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our instrumentalities like railways and highways, in terms of our airports and waterways, whereby the state of Nakuru, the state government of Nakuru, will have now to find out how communication and transportation will be made easy by building their own airports from the monies and subsidies that we'll be getting from monies generated from counties, and also the federal government. Which means that if you look at the proportionalities of the monies that we talk about, the generating revenue from bank and snake farming, we shall have enough money to take care of everything. We shall no longer be pigeons of enemy. We shall no longer be looking at things. And before I continue, we shall introduce the underground rail system in cities. We shall have people now to be congested, because there will be no border borders. Border borders will be reached, because there will be no mama bogas who want to make transportation system equitable in terms of equity, requiring clean hands as opposed to unclean hands. We shall build the underground systems, and we shall start by demonstrating on projects from Isiolo as a city, as we build cities going up and up. And therefore, 8 states, the logic behind the creation of 8 states is by having state identity. I come from Kakamega, let me say it like that. We shall have Kakamega, Western State, maybe Kakamega will be the capital, or Busia, or Ngomma, and we shall have tags on our licensing motor vehicles made from, let me say Kakamega. Najua hili mtu Kakamega, ikiwa ni Kiambu 1, ikiwa ni Central, ikiwa Central 1, you'll be proud of reality. So that people who are outside can come back in this country and say, we are happy. Instead of having a central government where the president makes it all, takes it all at home, where we've had some filians of insolvency, or filians of immorality, or filians of insolidarity, who come in with things like BBI, so that they can have handshakes to please themselves, to have themselves in power forever, to have their children and wives take over from the poor people. We shall not allow that. In my government, we shall not allow that discrepancy. Point number 9, then we shall deport all undesirable aliens. We shall deport the Chinese first. Wachina watakwenda kwao, tutawapatia makende ya fisi, tutawapatia nyama ya fisi, tutawapatia nyama ya nyoka, tutawapatia bangi, wakae kwa kuendelea na kwe na zile contracts wa China sign kuchukua port zetu. If that is true, I will cancel them, and I will cancel all contracts so that Kenya is redesigned to be built again. Ladies and gentlemen, as I leave, I would like you to play one thing. We need peace. We don't need fights. When we live here, let's live as rascals. Let's live with order. You saw us in Kakamega. You saw us in Busia. You saw us in Kisumu. Did you hear or did you see any incident where a stone was thrown at us? Because we just appeared. As we just appeared, and people follow us. We went to Kirinyaga, we went to Embu, we have been to reggae clubs, and continue spreading the word. Kenyans have become millionaires because of me. They have made shirts out of me to earn a living. They have made stickers, and the only way you can demonstrate DJ and my DJs, what of course mtakuwa na ministry yetu, is to spread the word the way you are spreading. Ukitengeneza kitu kama yule mama ambaye ametengeneza vikombe na picha yetu kama ya Justina, tengeneza, uza, upate hela, weka kwa mfuko until bangi yetu ya kwanza itaiva mwaka ujao. Asanteni sana. God bless you. God bless you. If you have something to say, then it will be closed by the German, the Pope. I thought I was the Pope of Ganja. Yes, but today you have the Pope man. The Pope man, the spiritual man. Me, I'm the Pope of Ganja, right? Yes, sir. Then you're the Pope of Ganja. The fifth.
Naomba kidogo Wajakoyah, rais. Vijana wanataka wa perform, then we can close. We have our cardinal in the house. Wakardinali, then we can close. Ndio? Wakardinali. Fire. Wakardinali. ndio profa fungi. Asante. Tumalizie ndio profa fungi.
Wakenya wenzangu, mmesikia hiyo story? Mmesikia hiyo story? Na sasa tunajua Bible inasemanga, in my father's house there are many rooms. If it were not so, I would not tell you that. Sindio? Mmekuja mmejionea kila mtu akona room kwa root party. Sindio? Kila mtu atakuwa na room kwa roots government. Tafadhali watu wangu, let all this translate to votes. Let us convert all this energy to votes. Sindio? Tushawapatia vision, tumeshare nyinyi vision, mmesema niko sawa. August 9. August 9. Kura tu.
Oya, wacheni wasanii wakakombo. Tokeni.
Moja the fifth.
Oya, mtu asikupite hapo. Pristine. Jijo. We Jijo. Jijo. We Jijo. Jijo. Mtu asikupite hapo. Rende. Gari mengi kam. Na ukisni juu ya click unasundwa sote vitu na kamkuzunguza umbwa. Umbwa.